action. How's it going, guys? It's me, the Don Otaku, and I'm here to finally talk about the first series for me to conclude. Well, there actually was Myoga and Lost Village, but that doesn't count because I didn't watch that. The first series to finally end in the spring season, 2016 season, for me, Netoge, episode 12. Now, it's come to that time again where all my series are going to be starting to end, like My Hero Academia, and what else am I watching? High School Fleet, everything else, and ReZero thankfully is going on, but you know, it's so like, I don't know how to put it, I'm speechless. But anyways, for the first series to finally conclude for myself, well, Kaminari, I was about to say that, yes. I don't know, well, for one, you've kind of seen me voice my opinions on this series like in the past videos when I was catching up to like episodes 7 through 11, and the joke again, yes, but episode 12, interesting. Today I'm here with my gamer shirt here to finally give my opinion and review on Netoge series. So anyways, episode 10 and 11, I didn't really cover too much on, was it 10 11? Or yeah, 10 through 12 basically, is a interesting arc they did where they did add like player versus player action in this arc, right? Against another PvP guild, and it was just sort of there. To me, it was just sort of like, oh, that's cool, I guess, because for one, in throughout the series, they've been doing a lot of like sort of slice of life romance-esque kind of things with Akko developing her character and whatnot, and we sort of see that in this arc actually in episode 11 when the guild hold dies and Akko's sort of like feeling down because she didn't do anything, and that sort of changes her ways. And then we also see that in this episode during the culture festival when she's you know, in real life doing these life things and being the head maid and just doing things in real life and stuff like that. So throughout most of the arcs, right, they were sort of like developing Akko, and in this one we just got some action in the side, and I thought it was like, okay, that's okay, you know, because we sort of did see action in the series, not a lot, even though they played the game like so many times. We got like freaking FPS like Call of Duty stuff, right, or Battlefield or whatever the heck you guys want to call it. We got some of that, right, in that one episode. But yeah, I mean, this one was not that bad. Like PvP, hold the fortress sort of thing. I gotta say, Master and her spamming those freaking potions that cost money, that was, that's how you beat players. You can't beat them through their skills and strength and stats, you spam your potions. Pro gamer tip, you could trust me, see, I'm a gamer. So anyways, after the whole gaming incident thing where they take the fort, they use that as their achievement in the student council, in the student club, and then you have the school culture festival where you see Akko in a maid outfit, and then Akko and Rusian have a little fun time together, and we have the ending. Now, I always complained that in the previous episodes, you can confirm it, that I said that, you know, nothing was going to happen. And I had my hopes up in that ending, this scene right here when they're cleaning up their Netoge club room, right? And, you know, Akko was like, oh, I want a reward for like being so brave in the PvP match. And it's like, oh yeah, you can have anything you want. Whenever you hear that phrase, the cliche, like, oh yeah, you can have anything you want as a reward in those animes, you know what they're gonna ask, or, you know, it's something gonna be up there, right? And of course Akko leans in front of him for the kiss, and I was like, oh shoot, is this really happening right now? Because, like, you know, these guys, they haven't been doing much of anything at all. All they do together is play games. They never go on dates unless you count their playing games together dates, but, you know, like, their relationship is sort of like, it's awkward in a sense, but it's whatever they do, right? So to see Akko go in for a kiss, I'm just like, wow, okay, is this gonna happen? And none of them are against it. Like, they're going in for it, but then bam, everyone else comes into the club room and interrupts them. There goes my expectations of the series, and I was just like, you know what, I'm done. So that's how the series ends, of course. It's like, oh, you know, I'm sorry, we're interrupting something. It's like, no, even like Akko interestingly wanted this, even though it's from the game, but then the game and reality are separate, blah blah blah, all that nonsense and whatnot. It's just, oh my goodness, like, the fact that they were both agreeing to it, but then freaking everyone else interrupted, that was just, if there is a manga or a freaking light novel for this series and they don't ever do anything in those things, then I'm sort of done. But anyways, enough of the episode. Now we get to talk about the series in general. So I sort of voiced my opinions on the series back in the day before in the previous videos, but I'm gonna say them again and actually think about the series in a whole now for the finale series review. Netoge, for me, it wasn't really one of those important series to watch or that was on my mind to watch. It's sort of just like, oh, it's there. I was like, oh, today Netoge is out. Because, you know, the things on top of my head right now for this season is like, what, My Hero, ReZero, and Kabaneri. And then other things, I guess that's about it. But yeah, like, Netoge, at the beginning, you saw that I did, if you guys look back in past videos, I did an anime hype on it. It's like, oh, you know, this story seems interesting to an extent. Like, you know, oh, I think I could dig this series. Because it had to do with, like, Nishimura or Rusian confessing his love to a guy, and then he just never goes trust girls online. So it was an interesting premise, but then in the beginning, like, I was sold up at the beginning because of how our main focus of Akko was sort of like an unsociable girl who has no friends and stuff like that, right? So I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And then, you know, that was a good introduction to the series. And then they sort of pile up and do things like of course, they create the club, they find Neko Hime Sensei, then they have like those moments and stuff. So this series, for one, doesn't really, how do I put this? So, you know, this series is only 12 episodes, right? So there's not a lot to go on. And all the things that happen in this series are just like, you know, it's either like playing games for one, and then it's the Akio and Rusian time, like when they're walking back home or talking in game or something like that, right? And then more guild chatter stuff, and then faking their things at school. I mean, like, you know, this series was pretty short, so it's nothing special in this series. Like in episode 9, like that filler with the girl sleepover thing, like that was like the least entertaining episode for like the series, in my opinion, because, you know, back in episodes 3 and 4 when they introduced Sete-san, I thought it was like, oh shoot, that's like a rival sort of girls thing, right? But then, you know, it turns out that Akko, and then episode 5 or 6 was like when Akko was in her downtrodden, and then like how she didn't want to like go back into the real world anymore. Like there were some good moments in this anime, I will give it that. So yeah, this anime, it's really at first it had an interesting story to it, right? Like the plot. And then as we continued on along with it, it just kind of got like really plain and generic, but it was still entertaining to watch at the time. And I will give it that, I said before, this series does have its moments. Like in the beginning, the introduction hooks me up, where you had Akko introduce herself and she said she has no friends, or she didn't really talk to people a lot, and that's hooked you. That hooked me in for one. And then, you know, back in that's talking about how you have the club, and how, like, you know, everyone, you like in the first episode where they meet each other for the first time, and it's like, oh, this is this person and this is this person. And then you have the club, you have meet Neko Hime, she was the teacher, like Rusian confessed to his teacher, and then you have Sete-san come in and like as a make Akko jealous, and you have Akko and Rusian when Rusian visits her home. Like those were pretty good moments and stuff. And especially the one that gets in my head the most was the wedding at episode 8. Yeah, episode 8. Yeah, that was pretty good. And then like before in those episodes, you know, you have like what Rusian and Akko doing stuff and whatnot. Like, yeah, you have the moments. Episode 9 was just the filler for me. I didn't really like that too much. Even though this is the girl sleepover, it wasn't bad. It was just the least favorite of mine. And then you have the battles. The battles, you know, even though they have some PvP stuff here, it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't like top of the line fighting and stuff. It was just like, oh, hey, we're fighting. And so yeah, I thought it was a different pace, because they didn't really focus on fighting a whole lot in the series, so that was a good change. And then the ending with the culture festival thing, that was really on the side. Like in the main focus of episodes 10 through 11, you had the focus of the battles, but then you also had the culture festival on the side to show growth of Akko as a person and herself, right? And then in the end, we get this scene, which puts many expectations for a lot of people, myself included. Maybe not you guys, but myself. I had some high expectations for the scene, but then it got ruined in the end, and that was about it. So yeah, I mean, nothing happened in this series. Oh, I can't say exactly nothing happened. Nothing romantic technically happened, but for one, I will say that this series does show, for one, a good sort of story and plot towards Akko, because for one, her character was the most main focus and the one developed throughout the series, because for one, you know, in the opening, who's is it for? It's for Akko, right? Akko at first began the series as the one without any friends and the unsociable one, and always relied on Rusian to sort of like teach her and like sort of just like as also like a love interest and also as a mentor for like what to do and stuff. And then throughout the series, you also see her like in episode 4 and 5, the first part when you see him, or you actually see her a lot in the freaking series, but you know, she's always shy. She doesn't talk to anyone. She never talked to Sede-san. She never talked to anyone in her classroom, even though people are concerned about her. She always confuses the game from real life, and she always is like stuck inside her house and stuff. And episode 5, when she comes in, she was like she like had that dramatic event where she was telling, "Oh, I'm tired of the real world. It's too hard, and I want to quit school and whatnot." And you know, those are real life things, sort of thing, like sort of real life thoughts and stuff that people could have. And you know, that's why I said in that episode, I believe that, you know, that was like the most dramatic thing to happen in the series. It's like, oh shoot, like dang, she's talking some real stuff here. And like, you know, I might even say that I might have thought those things sort of back when I was like in middle school or high school or whatever, but you know, I don't do that now because I'm past that stuff. But yeah, those are real things, and that was pretty dramatic. But then of course Rusian comes in and helps her out, and then, you know, so like, oh, you know, even though it's really hard and tough, isn't it fun to go and try and challenge that and stuff like that? So then, you know, yeah, those other things. And then you also have it when she gets along with everyone else, because like, oh, you know, she's like, it's only fun in school or in real life when she has Schwein Master and Sete-san with her and stuff. And you see that in episode 9 when she truly develops those friendships with them and spends the night together at Master's house and whatnot. And then also in episode 12 or episode 10 through 11, during the battle scene when everyone gets freaking annihilated in the guild PvP thing, and Akko's the only one alive, she felt regretted because she didn't do anything in that scene. And then in episode 12, she sacrificed herself as a shield to save Master from the stun, and then she feels like she accomplished something by taking action and stuff. And then eventually in episode 11, I also believe, is that, you know, like Rusian's telling her about the May thing and then the culture festival. It's like, oh, when you're in trouble, you just have to ask people for help and stuff. And that also translates back to the game when Rusian and the guild asked for help from Nekohime and then other guilds and stuff. So yeah, like, you know, Akko is the biggest focus in this series. And in the end, I personally think that Akko has, you know, at least changed from episode 1, and that's a good thing, or that's basically the point and stuff, because, you know, she was the main focus. The club was made to distinguish reality from games, and for Akko, and they basically sort of done that. And we, you know, like Rusian says that himself, like, oh, you know, you changed a lot, and I'm gonna give you a reward for what you did today and stuff. So that's, you see change in Akko. Rusian was just there as the stepping stone and the support beam for Akko, and Master and Schwein were also there as support, but then they also are the ones that became friends with Akko first, and then, you know, the only female friends, you have Sete-san also, and yeah, Nekohime was just there to help Akko as well. Yeah, just everyone's freaking trying to help Akko, and that's really like what happened here, and that was the driving goal of the club, and it technically worked, except we don't get to see further installations on that because, you know, the season's done and stuff, the series is done. So yeah, I mean, for one, you know, the story or the series was really, it's plain and generic. It had a good good premise at first, but as I got through it, it was really generic and plain. But I need to take a break. The series is really plain and generic as you keep going on with it, but the series does have its moments, as I said, through all the things I talked about, like the first episode and the wedding and this ending, sort of. And yeah, it was not that bad, and I really enjoyed the end. So if you guys know if this thing is like a manga series or like a light novel thing, and like there's more to this, then please do tell me, because, you know, I might be interested in looking that up, because, you know, that ending was unsatisfactory, for crying out loud. Like, come on, guys, like, I'm not the only one who could have please wanted them to not be interrupted. Like, come on, guys. They don't do anything in the series, but that was just like the one moment, like, oh yes, if they do this, then that'll be fine. That's the ending. I don't care. But they don't. So anyways, guys, that is about it for my finale review of Netoge. Is There Never a Girl Online? I don't know the full title, but because it's too dang long. But anyways, guys, for one, this is the first series I finished, and I thought it was okay as a thing, and the series was really satisfactory to the end and stuff like that. So I'm gonna miss these two lovebirds. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video if you like our our pair here, Ako and Rusian, and like the video if you also was disappointed because of the freaking interruptions made in this scene, and subscribe because a lot of the finales for the series this season are coming out, like My Hero Academia. I'm going to catch up on that, I promise. I have everything ready and waiting. I just need to film it, but I'm lazy. Kaminari, I might do Kaminari. Actually, I'm just trying to do Kaminari. ReZero, I have a long time to do ReZero, so you guys could stick around for that. High School Fleet, I might catch up to High School Fleet because for one, I've actually been watching and catching that up, and it's been really interesting. And any other series that I've been covering this season, maybe Mayoiga and Lost Village, who knows? I heard that it's really not that great anymore. But anyways, guys, stay tuned for any new videos that come up on this channel or the Domotaku channel where I do my personal vlogs and stuff. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are doing well. So I'll see you guys on the next video on the Domotaku anime channel. So take care, guys. Matane, and keep on gaming.